Come on. Through the gardens.
What's the matter, Danny? You never taken a shortcut before?
Hey, howdy, people of the internet, awesome people that like Cornetto, Wolfman 47 Dash here. So, let's talk about the Three Flavor Cornetto trilogy. So, about 20 years ago now, the first film, Shaun of the Dead, came out, and it was a huge success. It was a satire of the horror genre, established Simon Pegg and Nick Frost as two protagonist characters, established Edgar Wright as a director, and it had a lot of big names in it, mainly from the British side of acting, and it was good. It was really good. So, having seen the re-release a few days ago with Clank Zoka, I decided though to talk about it and the rest of the Three Flavor Cornetto trilogy as well. So let's do that. So, to start off with, each film is connected in a way only by having the same actors, being a satire of a certain genre, and featuring a flavour of Cornetto. So in Shaun of the Dead's case, it's the strawberry flavour, which obviously is red, representing blood, which is you see a lot of in this film. Not as much as most sort of horror gory films, but yeah, there's a lot in here. So, horror comedy, Shaun of the Dead, about this character called Shaun, who's basically having the worst life. He's at odds with his girlfriend. He's trying to He's trying to defend his best friend from his flatmate, who's trying to get him to either leave or try and bring more money in. He has a pretty piss poor job being a salesman for an electronics company. And he has an abusive stepfather. So he's kind of not having the best of lives. And the only thing that's really going for him is going to this pub called the Winchester with his best friend, played by Nick Frost, who is basically just there to be moral support and just be the guy that's like, oh, I'm here to have a laugh. Let's make you laugh. So that's what that relationship is. Now, to begin with, the main focus is on Shaun, but we do get a sort of sense that the world is about to change in that there's a lot of people that are behaving a bit more like zombies. And eventually it soon becomes clear to Shaun and others that the zombie apocalypse has occurred. So, when that happens, he initially decides to get rid of the people that are trying to invade his home with the help of Nick Frost, and then eventually hatches a plan to go save his mum, save his girlfriend, and just go to the Winchester or some other familiar place that they can just stay in and sort of wait for it all to blow over, as they say. So yeah, the first of these films is good. It's definitely got a nostalgia feeling now because when it was released back in 2004, obviously I wasn't at the right age to be able to watch it because I was 14. Clank Zoka was definitely not at the right age because he was much younger than that. And when we did end up being able to see it, bearing in mind that we weren't actually friends until the pandemic occurred, it's his all-time favorite film, and it's one of my favorite films as well. In fact, all the Cornetto films are my favorite films, even The World's End, which I'll talk a little bit about later. And Shaun of the Dead, it's been selected for preservation for the National Film Registry, wherever that is. And yeah, it's a really good film. Can't fault it. It's got good acting, lots of cameos from some very big names, and it is good fun. So I'll give this one 5 stars because I can't fault it. It's good. Not really anything bad about it. And even when we saw the re-release of it, it had an intro by the director Edgar Wright, and also the BBFC card was the same card that it got when it first came out. You know, the same logo and everything. So yeah, a lot of nostalgia for the film. So yeah, so that's Shaun of the Dead. Then a few years later, we got Hot Fuzz. Now, Hot Fuzz is a satire of the action genre, specifically police buddy films. with the flavour of Cornetto being vanilla, which is blue, which represents the police. So this time, Simon Pegg plays this character called Nicholas Angel, or Angle, as the misspelling occurs later on, who due to be making the police in London a bit of an embarrassment thanks to his perfect track record, or so we're told, he is reassigned to this little village called Sanford. Now in Sanford, he starts out his job pretty much straight away because he finds a lot of underage people drinking, and deals with Nick Frost's character, who he eventually teams up with. And then he gets introduced to the police force the very next day, gets introduced to the Neighbourhood Watch Alliance, and basically just goes about life, not really sort of realising that something may be afoot, although to begin with, we do get hints about it, but like with Shaun of the Dead, it's not really a major thing until a little bit later on. Then these murders happen, and initially Nicholas Angel is believing that these are genuinely murders and not accidents, as the village makes them out to be. And he just spends a lot of time investigating. And then he comes to realise that the Neighbourhood Watch Alliance is not quite what they seem, and he works to sort of take them down using various classic scenes, trying to sort of mimic and parody classic iconic scenes from various action-orientated films. He's kind of made out to be like a fool, and all this other stuff happens. And in the film, we do get a lot of big cameos. So Peter Jackson appears as dressing as Santa Claus. We've got Bill something. Oh, I forget the comedian's name. Bill Bates, I think it is. I could be wrong about. Anyway, a comedian that's well known in different panel shows. He appears in it as well, and all these other big major characters too. Steve Coogan as well, Bill Nighy once again, and Martin Freeman once again, and it's a very quotable film for sure, and definitely a funny film, and one that definitely is one that people just continue to sort of quote, because there's so many great quotes and so many memorable quotes that they all start, and then when the final battle happens, they all do the quotes again just to be like bring it full circle, and it's so much fun. So yeah. So Hot Fuzz, I'm also gonna give 5 stars as well. Then we got The World's End. Now, yes, The World's End is the weakest one of the 3 films, and it's the only one that I've actually seen in the cinema. By which I mean the first film I've seen it's the first film of the Cornetto trilogy that I saw at the cinema when it first came out. Okay, there we go. Meaning that, and because of the re-release of Shaun of the Dead, this means that Hot Fuzz is the only one I've not seen in cinemas yet. But anyway, so World's End, Simon Pegg plays this drug or alcohol addict who once did a pub crawl with his pals many years ago, but ultimately didn't quite finish it, so he wants to finish it. His pals have moved on to have bigger, better lives with families, well-paid jobs, and all this other stuff. But when Simon Pegg gets involved, at first they're like, no, we don't want to do it. But then Simon Pegg does some things, and then they are convinced, and then they just kind of do this pub crawl with him out of curiosity of what he actually might do. And the pub crawl starts off okay at first, and then revelations are revealed, and then eventually we come to realise, and then eventually, once again, just like the other films, we realise that not everything is as it seems, because the village that they go to do this pub crawl, which is filmed in Wailing Garden City, they realise that actually most of the villagers, and I say most because some are still themselves, are replaced by these things called blanks, thanks to this alien sort of sci-fi thing, and they try to escape, although eventually they just decide to carry on with the pub crawl and just be cautious about all the characters are going about. Eventually the aliens leave the planet in a sort of dark age where technology has been destroyed, and they're just trying to live out their days again as cavemen and whatever have you. So yeah, and And I forgot to mention about the Cornetto flavour in this one. It's the mint flavour, so green, which obviously represents sci-fi. This one that doesn't have as many quotes, and I don't think it's as funny as the other ones. I mean, there are some moments which are funny and that, but yeah, it's not as good. And I will say that I think there are lots of serious scenes as well. Like, I know at the point where they're trying to establish whether they are blanks or not, there is quite a serious moment there. And then there's the moment where they're trying to tell the aliens to bugger off. Not interested in anything. That's kind of funny, but not that much funny. Yeah, it's an okay film. I wouldn't say it's the best of the Cornetto films. It's definitely the weakest, and I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna award it 4 stars because I didn't find it as funny, but it's still worth a watch all the same. So yeah. So that's the Three Flavour Cornetto trilogy. I have heard that we might get another film, but that's kind of up in the air, which would make it a quadrilogy, because as we all know, trilogies are usually 3 films and quadrilogy are 4 films. And I think lots of people in the press often forget that when people talk about trilogies, they do often mean 3 films, and it's like they always say, "Oh, this 3rd film is going to be the last of the trilogy." It's like, yeah, we know that's what a trilogy is. It's the last of the 3 films. So yeah. Anyway, but yeah, do check these out. They're definitely worth a watch. Maybe more than one watch, so you can catch all the different Easter eggs, cameos, and everything. The flavors of Cornetto are also tasty, so do try them when you can, if you do happen to get them in your area. And yeah, happy 20th anniversary to Shaun of the Dead, and I look forward to seeing the re-release of Hot Fuzz if we get the re-release a few years later, because I know it was released a few years later after Shaun of the Dead was. And apart from that, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. I upload videos at various times during the day, usually a mix of shorts and long form videos like this, where I'm reviewing stuff and just talking about things in pop culture, doing hauls and talking about life in general, these sorts of vlogs. And I also do a lot of gameplay videos as well, sort of gameplay videos without commentary, and then some that are described as Let's Plays, so do check those out. And if you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to share with your pals, please do so. If you want to leave a comment, please do so. See you in the next one. Peace to you all. Try the Cornettos. Always protect your friends. Don't ever question their loyalties, or unless you feel you have to, if you're in a sort of dire situation. And whatever happens, don't trust people. If they are too perfect to be trusted, then maybe don't trust them. But I don't know. I'm not your dad or anything. So yeah. All right. Toodles.